Welcome back to part 3 of our bookcase on woodworking with Wes today. Let's bring you up to speed, show you what we've done, and then talk about what we're going to do today. We built our box, our bookcase part. We added our decorative end panel detail. We've put a foot mold on there. We've added a top, and today we are going to put our crown mold and dental teeth. And I'm going to show you how we do our hand-cut dentals. But right now, let's take a look, and I'll show you some of what's going to happen as we do this. If this were the cabinet and this were the top of our bookcase, the first thing we do is we put down a little spacer, and then we're going to add our little dental teeth like this, and then we're going to put a crown mold on there. These dental teeth will be a little closer like that, but that's the effect we're going to end up with on our dental and crown detail. We're going to turn our cabinet upside down, and so we can do it more easily on the bench. But the first thing we're going to do is go to the table saw. I'm going to show you how to safely cut little teeny blocks for our dental teeth. Let's go there first. Cutting little teeny 1-inch squares on a box sled is kind of hard to get every one of them the same, and it's also a little unsafe because you might get a kickback. So what I did is I clamped a block here. My dental teeth are going to be 1 inch. I clamped a block there at 1 inch, and I put me a little sacrificial block there. And what I did, I slide a block up there against my block, or against my little sacrificial block. I slide and I'm cutting them in multiples just so that it's nice and easy. I slide all 4 of my little sticks over against my block. I take away this block so there's now nothing holding that end tight. And I'm just going to turn on the saw and cut those teeth, and you'll see how they just kind of knock away from the blade so that they don't bind and spit. You can see how that is a very safe way. My hands were not close to the blade, but I was able to hold on to my work good. My blocks all cut exactly the same size, and I can just repeat that process by putting this block back into place, sliding my material over, again holding it down, move that block away. And there's a safe way to cut your little dental teeth. Okay, let's cut up a few and then head back to the tables, or back to the workbench. We're getting ready to do our dental teeth. I always start with my outside corner. Now you can see how my dental teeth line up with the spacer block that I put there. I put a corner piece like that on both corners, and then what I do is on a piece like this where I have 2 outside corners, I measure the distance between my 2 outside corners. I count the number of blocks that I would like to have and determine the space that I need to have between my blocks in order to have it be all even. So space block, space block, space block, and we want to have our spacing even and our blocks even, and end up with a dental molding that looks like that, going both directions. So the first thing we do, start with the little corners, nail those on, and I'll just be nailing them on. I'll put a little glue on, but I'll get them a nail, and I'll just put a 23 gauge headless pin in the face of each block, and then we'll putty and sand that when we get all done. And then of course, when we're all finished, our crown mold goes over it like that, and we'll get all done and then turn it upside down. But for right now, just watch me go through and put the dental teeth on. And this is what I talk about being hand cut dentals. Each piece is hand cut, hand placed, and hand nailed. We've got our corners in now, and by doing a little math measuring from corner to corner, we have determined that our spacing needs to be 7/16 between blocks. And so what I did is I went and made me a little 7/16 spacer stick and cut it into sections, and we're going to do this like this to set up each little block. And then we'll nail each one as we go in and pull our spacers on and work down the row. It's a very tricky, easy way to keep your spaces exactly right and get your blocks nailed into place perfectly. Now we're going to also put a little glue on each one of those blocks, and I'm going to show you how I do that. I just take and put a little glue on a scrap piece of wood like that. And I just take a little block here and just dab the corner like that of my block. I don't want a lot of glue. I don't want a squeeze out or anything like that. I just want a little bit of glue to help hold it in place. Put my spacer block in there. And then one nail. Next spacer block. Next dental tooth. A little bit of glue. Hold down tight. And we'll just work our way down the row just like this and get all our nailing in. Now, one of the things that I do just for precautionary reasons, I'll work several blocks in from each side or from one side and then go over and work in from the other side, so that if I end up with any inconsistencies that are very minor because we've done our math really good, if there's any inconsistencies, we can adjust in the last 6 or 8 blocks in the center so that we really have a very consistent look in our little dental mold. Just like that. We do the same thing going down the side. We figure out our distance, make our spaces, we put one block back in the corner, measure the distance in between, and do just like that. And then, like I say, when we get all done, then we put our crown on there, sand all this in, and oh, it looks so cool. It's such a neat little effect, a neat little detail for the top of a crown. Let's go ahead, I'll go ahead and finish this off, and we'll come back and take a look when I'm done. Okay, there's our crown mold. Let's turn it upside down, see what, or not upside down, we're upside down right now. Let's turn it over, stand it up, and see what it looks like. Well, how does that look? That sure makes an impressive top to a bookcase. This works great for mantels. If you're doing any mantels, dental mold looks so cool on a mantel. Nice big crown of dental mold in your columns. When you learn how to do your dental mold, by doing the spacing and making your corners right, you can make beautiful pieces of furniture and mantels with this nice dental mold detail, and it's really a neat thing to know how to do to add to your furniture skills. And we'll see you next time on Woodworking with Wes.